Nah, acapella.
You're locked into the vault with Donta Myles on Fire 716 Radio. Let's go.
Come through. Listen, we are back here at the vault at Fire 716 Radio. Listen, I'm glad you guys are here. Long day. Special shout out to Diaja and the family. Jill, the loss of Kiki, that's the loss within the city. And so, I want to show love to them today, and give them our deepest condolences here at Fire 716 Radio and the vault as well. So before we get into the meat and the bones of everything, let's make sure for those of us who are watching via any other place, even on this page, we got to make sure that we go to Fire 716 Radio and make sure we download the app and check out the content. Great content. So I'm here. Of course, we got here my man Big Frank, the boss man. What's going on, brother?
What's going on? Cooling.
Yes, sir.
It's been a week, but we here.
Yeah,
okay?
well, we here. We are
What's
here
good,
in the building.
Sure.
And so, I want to make sure we're good rapper. And so I have a special guest, and I'm gonna flip this over here for those who the one and only, the notorious soulful singing Ezra Scott Sr. How you doing, good brother Ezra?
I'm good, my brother.
Hey man, listen, I'm glad to have you here, man. We are here. It's a lot. We've been going through it, and you've done something great that I can appreciate as a community member, because a lot of times some of us we complain about something, but we won't do a thing.
Yeah.
So just so I can before I hop to good brother Ezra, we had this situation that has been a situation for a long time. Years. And that situation is called Tops Portage Road Tops. And one thing that I've learned is that sometimes, and we talk about it often here, me and Big Frank as well, is pressure being applied is needed in order to, and I made a post on my page one time is that we need to apply pressure to stop the bleeding.
Definitely.
And it's been that area has been bleeding for a long time. So instead of me going into everything, let our viewing audience know what it is that kind of inspires you to, and let them know what it is that you're doing. You know what I mean? That was placed in your heart and that you felt, compelled to do.
Yeah, thank you. So what's happened with me is during the last several months, 6 months, 8 months, whatever, I've been going into different tops, Niagara Falls Boulevard, Military Road, and noticing the renovations that were being done in the store, outside the store, and everything,
yeah,
totally beautiful. And going into Portage Road Tops, just noticing the neglect,
right,
nothing being done,
right.
And I went to the Boulevard Tops, one evening, and I came out of the store, sitting in the car, and it just bothered me, brother.
Mm-hmm.
I was angry, man.
Right.
I was angry,
right.
And it's like, man, this just is not right.
Right.
So I called the store, asked to speak to the manager, Portage Road, spoke to him, kind of told him my feelings, got the corporate number, reached out to corporate, spoke to someone, told her my feelings. They said they would have someone give me a call. I never received that call.
Mm-hmm.
And, I just want to say I have a great team of support behind me.
That's right.
What happened then is, the talk of a community meeting, to get more people in the community that has observed the same thing and felt the same way. Mm-hmm. As you said, this has been neglect that tops for years.
Right. Right.
And finally, I spoke with corporate. Was invited to a meeting at the tops, and myself and 6, 7 other people.
Mm-hmm.
You being
Myself,
part of
yes,
that,
sir.
my brother.
Very happy to do so.
Yeah, and we had conversation, expressing our concerns and the issues, and I could say the tops, they had the attitude of, to me, they kind of owned it. They knew it was correct, everything that was being said,
Right.
And yeah, so pretty much we had a community meeting. It's going to be another community meeting coming up next week, Thursday, December 7th, 6 p.m. at Word of Life Ministries. Some of the corporate people are going to be there, a part of this meeting. Encourage everyone to come out if you can and be a part of this. It's about us as a community.
Absolutely. That's really what it's all about. And I have to say, even one thing that a lot of times, sometimes, although we know they had to own it, I mean, because the crazy part is where we sat at that time at that meeting. You still see what we were talking about was fresh, and it was right out there. You go to the bathroom in tops, it's disgusting. You go to specific spaces in tops, it's ugly, and so they couldn't deny it, especially right there, right? So, and I do believe once that community pressure, because what happens when you get a room full of people, and it was a nice handful of people down in Word of Life, and I know it's going to be even thicker this go around. So that happened, right? And so once you got it, of course, after that meeting, you got that call. Then we had we had the walkthrough. Tell the people your take, and I'll give my take as well as it pertains to the walkthrough of what it is that we experienced just recently.
Yeah, I asked the director of customer experience who was walking with us. She was asking me, did I notice this, notice that had been done? And I said, why don't you just walk us through the store and you point out what's been done?
Right.
As well, a part of that walkthrough was to make suggestions for grocery items. So my take from that is that it was a few things that I felt that, they mentioned the store losing money. That store loses money. They wanted to keep mentioning that. But yet I says at the same time, they're saying the store is important to them and it's not going
anywhere. Right. I remember you had mentioned that.
It's not going nowhere. Well, if it's not going nowhere, it's important to you. Don't you think you would want to invest in it?
Right.
And then the questions was asked as far as, why did it have to come to this?
Right.
That's going on now, making noise and expressing our feelings as a community, how we feel about this tops. Why did it have to come to this before you could recognize and know that things needed to be done at this store and it could have been done,
Right.
Overall, I think they were, they've done some things.
Yeah, some small low hanging fruit things, nothing to write home about. Right.
Yeah, slap some paint up on the exterior of the building, and they talked about some things they're going to be doing, but they wouldn't give really timelines, on some of the on some things. But it's overall, I walked away feeling that they are listening, but by no means
are we satisfied. By no means.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things. And I also kind of like, for me, at that in that exchange, I made the question, and I posed that question is wouldn't you as an organization, or I don't think it was a question, it was more of a suggestion to the space of, hey, why don't you treat it as you're only as strong as your weakest link? Portage Road Tops has been Tops' weakest link since forever. So what happens is you want to strengthen your weakest link to make your company and your organization strong again. Right. And they talk about, like you say, they talk about, money being lost and, we lose money. But the thing is this, let's focus on the reason why money is being lost. If your product is subpar, if what it is that you're offering, in regards to like a grocery shopping experience is below average, then wouldn't you say that would be the reason that you're actually losing money? So why don't you invest back into that space where you can bring quality back that make people excited to show up and actually crazy.
Just piggybacking off of that, Dante, I hope I got this correct, but back in the early 60s when the first Tops, the owner, I don't remember his name, but said to his team that he wanted to name that store Tops, because they wanted the experience for the shopper, the customer, to be the best shopping experience for them. Right. And I said to him, I said, well, what happened to that along the way? Because that Portage Road Tops is definitely not the best experience or great experience whenever you go in there to shop for all the things that's been mentioned, What happened to
to that concept, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, good brother Frank, your take, because I know that we've talked about this before.
Yeah. I think that let's think business, if it's not making money, we don't put our efforts into it. We put our efforts in other things. That's not proper. But what happens is that what you've done is isolated our Tops as the weakest link. Is that we're not going to really invest much here, because let's be honest, y'all don't know what y'all want to do with it, right? Because the news say y'all want to throw it away and sell it, but now y'all want to keep it. So I'm really totally between the business side of it. Where do we fall at in the marketplace? Number two, or are you waiting for a tragedy? Because this is the same parallel that we have in Buffalo, New York, on Jefferson Avenue Tops, that it wasn't taken care of. It's falling apart, but it took a tragedy to now upgrade and advance, and it shouldn't take a tragedy for us, to realize that things need to change. Walking in there, I'm talking about about diapers when I'm talking about this past Thursday or Wednesday, I walked through there where the grapes are still are on their display but spoiling. Literally, the meat is discolored. Not only that, but where you're laying the meat at is terrible. And they don't know it, but I used to do remodels for stores like this. So those shelves and stuff, they move. You can pick that up and look and realize these shelves haven't moved in years. And the filth and the dirt that's here on the shelves underneath it lets me know that you haven't had any plan of remodeling, revamping. You haven't called a company to come in to do a remake or remodel of anything here, and it shows. You took away the cafe little area that we had for a brief moment, and it's like, I'm not really seeing the effort put in our Tops here, but I can go on the boulevard and see them overnight, painting and revamping. Something's getting ready to happen here. But the question comes again, what about us? And I'll say this and I'll say this again. I'm really on a mission to really bring attention to Niagara Falls aggressively, because Buffalo, everybody's got all this attention. But you want to use our name to bring attention and accolades, but the city itself is falling apart. And it's time for those who are in business. And I said this before, there's no program you have in place where the entrepreneur here can tap into a local distribution of product or sales. Show us that you care. Show us that you're tapped into us, and I'm not seeing that from that Tops. One thing I say also is when I go to other Tops, that when you walk into that foyer where the carts are, normally there's a display of it's stuff to sell. Ours is dirt, it's trash, walking in, it's broken carts,
ununified,
it's random
yeah.
carts. They're not in sync, and it's like you want us to be happy to come in here.
Right.
It's crazy.
It's just not realistic.
That's crazy.
Right. Yeah.
So,
They yeah, it's not a great experience, and it was said to them that if you invest in this store and do some things to make it look better, appearance wise, and people will feel good coming in and shopping.
Right.
My perfect example is my wife, Linda Scott, had not been in the Tops on the Boulevard during the course of the renovations, and a week or so ago, prior to the walkthrough, we went into the Portage Road Tops to get something, a couple items real quick, and she went into the bathrooms and she came out.
That was just it.
Yeah, she says, you know what? Let's go to the Boulevard store. And I says, okay, let's go. We went in there, walked around, and she said these exact words. She says, wow, I feel good being in here.
Yeah.
So right there is proof that if you make this store look better on Portage Road, people will want to come. They'll want to shop. And when they come in there, it'll be a good experience for them.
Right.
And you could turn around your numbers that you're saying you're not making.
Absolutely.
Money. You know what I mean?
It's that investment.
And because that bathroom, you don't want to do that. You don't want to execute the task.
No.
Because listen,
not at all.
And I tell you, there's no tissue on the road. There's flies and there's no paper.
No paper towel.
Everything is black in there. The ceiling tiles, the vent fan, it's just filthy and just dirty. And you can tell there's chipping of the floor. There's been no investment here, and there has been no plan. Somebody can come and paint this bathroom, give it a brighter appearance, wash these walls.
Right.
Like there's some of the things that need to be done are not costly. Some of the things just need to be basic maintenance, upgrading. You haven't even upgraded us.
Right.
They made a statement, and I had to really address them. Because some things take time, and when I was talking about it, because I kept bringing up that bathroom, and they were talking about and they start talking about daily. I said, I know the difference between daily wear and tear and usage and neglect.
Yeah.
That bathroom that has been neglected. I said the grime 100%. And all of the nastiness that's on the wall. We got flies all year around in Tops. When the flies normally die out in the wintertime, they like, man, I'm hibernating at Tops until the summertime because they ain't about to do nothing in here. It's dirty in here anyway. Dirt attracts, and that's another thing. Because see, what happens is a lot of times they like to try to utilize other things. Oh, we have the people that'll bring the bottles in, and they do this, Brother Frank. So, like you mentioned, when you look up under those spaces that you see all of the dirt and all the film and garbage that has been accumulated over all these years that they have not cleaned up. Does that or does that not attract these little creatures?
Because the question then is, where is QM?
Right.
Where is quality management?
Right.
With the jobs that I have, quality management comes from that. Even if you're doing raggedy throughout the year,
right,
when they show up, things are put back in place, but you've neglected us so much that our raggedy is the in place comparison. So it's like you're not investing because the same bottle machines you have here, you can have other. I've seen Tops. I told you the Tops in Grand Island.
Oh yeah,
we got nail salons. We got all kinds of stuff inside there.
Yeah,
I'm really perplexed because we have this happening out here. But when it comes down to this Tops, we have Citizens Bank. Right. We have nothing to motivate us to really want to be here. And let's talk about the quality of what you're offering isn't there. And I use other locations as well. I know family who go to church and save a lot. Why? Because the presentation is better. They're not mad at this Aldi's or that a Save a Lot. It's just that the quality of what's presented, the freshness of it. Why not? And let's just go ahead and talk about it.
Come on.
They're running to Wegmans because of the quality that is being presented. Like let's Wegmans and Top, y'all prices, y'all about parallel.
Right.
We're not talking about saving money necessarily. Thank God for the bonus card. I appreciate y'all. But truly, like the experience when you walk in,
yeah,
it's an experience.
Oh, go to Wegmans. Let me tell you something about Wegmans. I went into the Wegmans bathroom, right? Listen, I went in there. I felt like I would stay in there for a minute, right? I was like,
I enjoy going in that bathroom.
They got diapers in it for the kids, all kind of wipes, and I felt like it was gonna be, a man coming out with a towel or something on him.
Paper towel,
right? 2 full size. I'm like, and then it's clean. It smells great.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell somebody just recently came through there with a mop and made sure that stuff was clean. The walls was clean.
It's important.
It's very important because it's an overall shopping experience. It's a quality of life experience once you take your time out to go into these spaces.
Absolutely.
So how is it again? And I made the statement, and I told her, I said, because they tried to clean up a little bit for that day. You know how it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Listen, you got company coming over. You about to clean up, right? So they tried to set up the little meats and stuff. They tried to make sure that they walked us in areas that was nice and stocked. And you see our meats here. We're planning on taking this down because we want to put some more meats and expand our meat section. Right. They're doing all of this, good talking. And so what's going to happen is at some point soon, I'm about to go back to see what it looked like today.
That means still the same.
Because that's the thing. Right. So what happens is, what we want to let them know is you're not going to try to appease us because we're not in this to get appeased from you. You're not going to try to make it seem like, oh, see, this not. And now, what I did tell them, I said, hold on. You keep saying that this takes time. The presentation that they were able to show us that day, they were able to show, bruh. They set it up, and some of the things I guess they had changed or whatever. A couple of the carts or tables or whatever. I said, y'all did that in a few weeks. So when you say take time, I'm not really feeling that because if you're able to set something and change some things up, we got organic as soon as you walk in the door now. And then we have this set up and so on and so forth. And then we got, so different food items and the budget shopping and da. If you could do all of that in a matter of a couple of weeks, don't tell me nothing about take time because now that means what if you actually spent a good solid 3 months doing what you just did to try to get us to see something different that day? Exactly. What if you spent 3 months and then watch this? To get to a place, and here's the big part: to maintain that. Get there, because what's going to happen if you think you're going to spray some paint on the side of this building, and you're going to come and show us some special meats one day, and still have lighting still hasn't gotten right throughout the dim like that yellow light,
and you know what, and maybe my mind is here. When you talk to people about business and strategy, lighting makes a difference.
Huge.
How you label and move stuff around. That's why people come in and just move chips in different order because there's somebody who understands that for this product to sell, you need to have quality lighting a certain kind of way because it grabs people's attention. You're losing money because you're not investing.
Right. That's the overall.
If you walk into a place with dim lights, you're just not going to trust it.
Right. It's sketchy.
It's sketchy, but lights flickering, it's spooky. But if you go in there with bright lights, it looks clean and refreshed. You come in with, all right, this is my tops.
Right.
This is where I'm going.
It feels good.
It feels good.
Right.
Exactly.
You mentioned, I wonder, and I'm curious as to how often the corporate people come into that tops. Came into that top.
Probably rare.
And that's going to be important with whatever they do, whatever their plans are to make improvements. They need to make more regular visits coming in there, and I'm just curious as to how often they really come.
Now, I don't know what day was your visit?
It was on
Monday,
like recently.
Yeah,
though?
just this was it?
Yeah.
Last week, because I walked in there, like I told you, I did the video situation. And what happened was, I seen people in there I ain't never seen before, and I wondered if it was around the time that you guys was coming or had came. Because I just looked, I said, I've been in this house. I come here every Tuesday and Thursday. We walk. I ain't never seen these people in here, and I wonder if it was because they were prepping for you all to come. Because, like I said, I haven't seen management walk through this place.
Right.
I've seen the same employees walk daily. I see the managers, but I haven't seen like higher ups really come through here and look throughout the course of just being at this Tops all my life. That sounds crazy.
That probably was the case.
Yeah, so I wonder if that was the case. That it was like,
probably was.
Because
I think one of the things is that we're in a space where we're not having it. That's just to make it blunt.
Yeah.
You're dealing with people who we're not requesting anything. We're requiring.
Right.
I want people see the first 4 letters. They're the same in both of those words. REQU. The rest of them you got to see. We're not requesting anything. We're requiring you to do better by our people, by this portion of the community, and there will be like they act like they still can't do a full remodel. I still can't even get that as well. I don't get that. You know, you asked. I remember you asked us. You said, "Okay, so what about the panels, the new panels y'all got out in the front of the new Tops?"
They are lying because I'm gonna tell you, because to remodel this, the layout of the Tops are pretty generic,
right,
for us and where we are. You can take that same model and implement that model right where we are.
Right.
So you're not telling me that this concept already exists.
Right. You
got to just reaffirm your contracts. Let's make this happen and let's do it. And you can do it just like you do on the boulevard overnight.
Right.
At the night shift, they're stocking the food for the next day, and they're in there and they're working. They got areas cut off. You can do this. So there's no statement that you're going to make towards us to say, "Oh, we don't have the time." No, you have the time. You have resources, and there's companies. Now, I'm being petty. You can go call Wilcott right now, marketing, and say, "Hey, I want you to do this remodel. Here's the equipment. You set it up, and we get on. They go in there and go."
Right.
So the excuses are not valid for me, because and I can only speak like this because I remodeled Target. I was a part of that remodel for Target. It was done overnight. So we went in there at the doors closed at 10. We were there at 10. We left before they opened up. This is where the work is happening at. And portions are completed before the customer can come in the morning. That same concept can be executed for our Tops on Portage Road. There's no reason why we can't.
Right.
You know, they that walkthrough that we recently had in the store, you know, now they did say that, okay, let's talk about the bathrooms. They would not give a time frame as far as when they would be done. They said immediately they would be addressed as far as the cleanliness and paper towels and toilet paper. I don't know if that's happened as we're speaking right now, but they did say that the bathrooms will be redone. They gave pretty much like maybe Sharon kind of pressured them.
Yeah, she put the pressure in here.
Yeah, like 6 months.
So like for 6 months?
You know, 6 months.
I was like, oh, not a year. Okay, so you said 6 months, right?
Yeah, right. You know, they did say that. The one guy that's in charge of the produce area, he said they have plans and they're going to redo the whole produce area. You know, they have ideas as far as for the produce and the everything to stay fresher. So now the thing is it's yet to be seen, you know.
Right.
Are they going to follow through with it, you know?
Is it just talk? Is it lip service?
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, you know, I will tell them that the carts, I mentioned as far as, you know, the carts are all mismatched. The other stores, they're all the same, they're all matching, you know. Can we get matching carts? They said that will eventually happen. So we'll see about that as well. So, but they obviously can see that we're concerned about that tops,
right?
And I have to give them a little bit to say that they are responding.
That's good,
but it's not done yet. It's not done.
It's not to let's say to the degree of they're not responding in a manner that they have the potential to respond.
Mm-hmm.
They have more potential to do
sure.
greater. Again, something as simple as lighting.
Yeah.
Okay, guess what? Get one of those, what you call it? The go ahead and handle these lights. Okay, we're gonna change out all the lighting. We're gonna start scissor lift.
Yep.
Get the scissor lift, and let's start from one end. And all we're doing is changing lights. That's it.
There's make a big difference.
That's a low hanging fruit for me. And I think when speaking of fruit, when they're talking about, because they're like, some need to stay refrigerated to keep the, stop from whatever. Well, then why are you? See, what happens is, this is what makes everything a little different for me.
Stops.
Yeah. When you put fruit that should be in the cooling section in the middle of the aisle, see, to me, that shows just a level of laziness. Because what happens is let's put it out in the middle of the aisle instead of us having to go back and continue to get it fresh from out the back, from a cooler in the back. We're going to just put it out in the middle, and then as they buy it out of there, then we just going to kind of just restock it back up. So at the end of the day, there's just so many different ways that we can, our tops here on Portage can be revamped. We can be, upscale. Ernie said, "What's up?" So tell my OG.
What's up?
And so with that being the case, I feel like, again, I give them that, because there were things that, but then I need to see where is it being maintained. We have the young man that's the manager, and he has a good spirit about himself. But the thing is this. Yes, this tops can, and I don't know how much it is that he can do. But if it's your favorite tops, then I need you to be just as much as a champion in this, and really be in the forefront. Like, because don't say it's your favorite tops, but had we not came through and put that kind of pressure, that your favorite tops would have been still looking the same way. Because if I'm managing the tops and it's mine, and my name is on the line as a manager, I'm gonna say, hey, y'all gonna give me something to work, and y'all not about to set me up for failure. Let's make sure. My tops need this. Where are some real buggies? Get these out of here. Get us some real good buggies, and not these squeaky machines, rusted wheels, discolored, ununified buggies that's out here. Clean this floor. We're gonna have someone who is specifically on duty just for continuation of cleaning. So if we got to block off each aisle, get that waxer out there. We want to make sure them floors are buffed. The entry when you first walk in, that's the biggest thing. That's what people see first, and you allow it to get sickening dirty.
Even with that being said, even with the when they painted the exterior and inside the lobby area where the carts are, even seeing that paint, that fresh paint, walking into the lobby and seeing the mismatched carts
takes away from anything that you did with the paint.
It's a turnoff.
It is.
It's an eyesore. Now, I'll say that in that meeting that we had with corporate, you were part of, I asked the vice president, I said, we want this tops to look like the other tops. Can you renovate this store? he said, I asked him, I said, are you saying no? He says, a renovation is very expensive. It's a year planning in advance. And I said, so are you saying no? And he says, I'm not saying no. I'm not saying yes. I said, well, will you go back and talk about it?
Right.
Being done.
Right.
He said, yes, he will go back to talk about it. When we had the walkthrough, the director of the local tops or whatever, whenever I asked about that, and he said, well, no, the store is not going to get renovated. And that's when he said, in terms of the money, they lose money there. But after 3-4 years, if they turn that around, then that's something that can be looked at. I mean, ultimately, that's what we want. Renovate the store, just like the other stores.
Right.
People going to want to come in here.
Don't put the cart. See, and the thing about it is that, to me, that's putting that cart before the horse. Because the thing is this. And I made that because when you made mention even about the outside, I said, you do understand that anything that you do on the outside is going to trigger the drivers to look over and say, oh, something going on over there.
Like the letters.
The letters. Like you were talking about.
Building that says tops.
Tops. And they
the
bulbs is halfway out.
One is brighter, the other 3 are dim.
Right. It's like, you won't even maintain, that's low hanging fruit. You won't even maintain the lighting within your signage. And then when people see something different, when they see something, you put up, those are what, them panels? Put up 2 panels out there and let people see. Because I told them, I said, if they're not seeing something change outside, then the same people are, it doesn't matter what you do on the inside of this building, people are still going, they won't know because they're going to be like, it's still, that's still Tops. I don't go there. I don't shop there.
Now, they clearly said no to that.
Which is crazy.
We had to walk through when I asked that, it's very expensive. They quickly said no to that.
I think to me that's crazy because again, it's like you're not willing to make an investment that's actually going to bring money to you. Right now, when you are in the process of trying to rebuild and trying to build again, trying to strengthen your weakest link,
well,
you have to make initial investment.
And the outside makes important sense, and I can say that just for this place that I have here, this building has been here long before I've gotten here. It's been the same color hot pink for a long, long time. It wasn't until you change the color that it attracts, something new is happening here.
Right.
Something fresh is happening here. And if they're not willing to invest on the shell of it, it's like, hey, if you really want the attention, if you want the tourists to come here, if you want this to be on the market of going, oh, this is an option when we get here to go to, your presentation has to be proper. And I think with the Cosby Show, it's not that just what you have is bad. It's how you present it.
Right.
And unfortunately, with the current condition of Tops on Portage, what you're presenting is bad.
Right.
And what you have is bad.
Right.
So we have to let's start doing some work. Let's let people know that, hey, listen, we are considerate about what you're saying in conversation. Let us do what? The outside things first. Let us repair the back. Have a plan of action.
Right.
And let it begin to draw attention and a plan, let it and follow through, because
no preparation, no progress, and your product. And when your product and your presentation is off kilter, what do you expect? You're asking our community to just accept scraps.
Yep. Right.
Accept the scraps. We're gonna go past 56th Street. I always say that because Benderson is the builder and he ain't building nothing past 56th Street, except for probably the jail or something like that. he gonna put his money in something that doesn't really benefit the community when it comes down anything past 56th Street going towards downtown. Once you go over on the other side of 56 and go down LaSalle area. Right. You go down to the mall, all of these other things. Yes, that's what he's put. So with that being the case, Tops, what that's what makes it upsetting, because they're continuously bringing sand to a beach. You're trying to develop and make something big where all of the big development is, where if you were smart, you would actually build where there's lack. It's not a lack of people, just people choose to ride past. And Tops have become a convenience store. A convenience store.
Like Dre said, it's very much possible to turn this location profitable. This is a prime grocery store in the area, not only for immediate local residents that have limited transportation and for the elderly or disabled, but for the tourism. And I like you said the tourism part because Niagara Falls focuses on that so much. But if you invest in this location and you bring some nuances to it and you really bring some diversity to it, when the tourists come in and they're looking to go to a place to go grab some stuff for their family, you should be the option. You should be the location. But when we pull up, this doesn't give me upgrade. It doesn't give me current. It looks outdated, left behind, tapped out. Literally, if you can take pictures from right now compared to 10 years ago, and it's the same.
Yeah.
There's been no advancement.
There, the bed and breakfast, Airbnbs that are close to that Tops.
Right.
When the people need to go to the store, like you're saying, and they come there, well, they might come in there once, but the question is, are they coming back?
Are they coming back?
Now, this is a true fact here. At that community meeting that we had November 2nd, there was a young man came up and told me afterwards that he's from Canada, okay? And some of his family came over here, went to the Portage Road Tops, and said that they wouldn't go back there. Now, when they come over, they drive out to Niagara Falls Boulevard.
Yep. Yeah. It's a natural fact. It's something that we've experienced. I've experienced it. I don't go unless I'm going to get a can of something that I missed from the other from the other shopping experiences that I've. And it's the same way because it's Tops now, but Save a Lot over here is next. If you go to Save a Lot here in the McDonald's Plaza, the City Market versus the Save a Lot over there next to Crunch, different feel. So it's like, but Tops right now, Tops that's who is on the block right now.
They're on the block because you've been present for the longest.
Right.
And there's no reason why we shouldn't be advancing. And we see you advancing other locations.
That's that part, fellas. That part. We see you.
We see you. See it. So it's not like, oh, we just making this up. No, I seen the Boulevard. I see Buffalo locations. I see it happening. But what about us?
Redhead stepchild.
I told when we had the meeting with Dante, I told the corporate people, I said, this is what it feels like to me. If I was a little kid and a grown up comes in the room and passing out candy to the kids, but they get to me, they don't give me a piece of candy.
Yeah.
That's the kind of feeling. What do you think that kid is going to feel like?
Right.
You know, he's going to feel terrible,
left out,
neglected. You know what I mean? How come I can't get that? You know, I want that.
Not worthy.
No, for sure.
So is that how you feel, that we as a community in this space is not worthy of an upgrade?
Right.
Are we not worthy of a better shopping experience? You know, they know. I'm sure the complaints have been coming in left and right. Again, I talked to Cheryl about a year ago, almost around this time. And then she was, I'm going to set up a meeting with, the manager. And then, so when she seen me this time, I said, I remember. She said, Cheryl. I said, I remember. Oh, yeah, our schedules were a little.
She backed out of that.
The backpedaling that she was trying to do with that. I was like, so it was, okay. I'm going to let that go because I'm trying, for me, I'm trying to I'm standing for the bigger picture. I ain't making it about me and you, ma'am.
Right.
I'm not. I could have pulled you to the carpet, but I'm like, okay, we're here now.
Yeah.
So what are we gonna do? So we had the meeting in that dirty room, and it's like even the room was like not all that great. So like you pull us in this room, I'm quite sure the rec or whatever room that's in the tops in Niagara Falls Boulevard, no military, looks a lot better than the room that we were sitting in. Sure. And I'm gonna tell you something.
It was the manager's room.
Right, the manager's room, right?
That's crazy.
And something that your wife Linda had stated. It was it was super cool. Is while we were looking, she looked on the walls and she seen these signs that it's up to us to give our clients a good shopping experience, fresh foods and and she was like, this pretty much look like what we're asking for.
Right.
Like you guys are actually saying right here on this wall, I'm looking at these signs, it looks just like
be what you said on paper. Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, like that's crazy. So you have all these signs. So does all that become box checkers? Okay, well, these signs are we put these signs up to try to motivate. No, at the end of the day, it's called investing.
Yeah,
they're gonna have to invest. And what's gonna happen? Ain't no profit in that. I don't know. Maybe I might have a prophetic moment. I believe that after this next meeting, that a little bit more than what they said they can do is going to pretty much happen. Because I don't think they know the severity, because they weren't at that public meeting we had at Word of Life.
Right.
And I think when they see the response, which I'm gonna ask everybody that's on here, go. On the 7th, it was 6 or 6:30?
6 p.m.
6 o'clock p.m. on the 7th. This is next Thursday at Word of Life Ministries, 1941 Hyde Park Boulevard. Come, bring your family members, bring your friends. If you care about Patricia George said you wasn't. She said you wasn't important at the time, like they always do. Put us last. That's exactly how it was, right? Come next and bring your friends, your families, your loved ones, because guess what? If we care about this experience here, and let's look at it, and because some people, they have the cars and they're like, okay, well, I can go to Wegmans. I ain't got to go. Let's think about the people who don't have these luxuries.
For sure.
Everybody don't have the luxury to just bypass it and just drive, because everybody ain't driving. Somebody lives in Spalino Towers that has their little cart that they're pulling from the towers to try to get some groceries.
And just to add to that statement, because where Tops is located at, there's those towers are there.
All of them
are there, and then as well as even just our projects, gardens, and the
I will call our low income hub of the city.
That is the location to go to get it. I don't have a vehicle. I can't travel out there. I'm not catching the bus to grab all these groceries. We're not running out there. Instacart is too expensive. These things start costing for me to go to a place. This is that location. But when I get here, I have to deal with what I feel like the low quality of produce. And I'm going to say how it feels as a shopper, that, hey, the other Tops got the high quality stuff. Y'all gave us the low quality stuff, and we just dealing with it. Oh, everybody look at the quality cards, and we got the leftover stuff, and we feel like a leftover kind of quality, and that's not. And you don't want to feel like that going to shop.
Right. It's like a lot of residents that shop there do their primary shopping there. That's their only option, like you said, because the transportation, they don't have it, and they accept it. When you've been able to go out and see the various Tops, what's going on and what's happening there, then you have a comparison,
Right.
And that's why this next meeting next Thursday is really important. want to encourage everybody to come out. Please come out, be a part of it.
Sure.
It's about us.
Right.
We're better together. That's our tops. It's our community. Tops corporate people will be there. I know I'm going to ask them if they can basically give an update of what they've done at the Portage Road Tops in the last 30 days, and then even give what's their plans as far as for the next even 90 days going forward.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? What are their plans to do? So anybody, if you shop in that Tops, if I didn't shop in that Tops and I chose to shop in other grocery stores, I still live here in this community. It's still important to me, so come out and be a part of it.
That's right. So, and I think overall, I think it's important that we become engaged in this space. And what it does is it boosts the morale. It shows the people that there's still people in the city that care about the city. Residents that are not just going to be, thumb thugs on Facebook and go hard and do all this talking and not willing to really step up and really address situations. I think it's that's the morale booster that allows us to begin to, and once we see true change, once we see effective change, once we see positive change overall, I think that's going to step up what we accept as a community. It's going to say, okay, whoa, because we got together as a community and we brought forth we expressed our grievances and we showed them that we weren't backing down.
Right.
And we got this at the end. That shows that we can actually change our entire city around one space at a time. One space at a time. Watch this. One portion of Main Street at a time. Main Street is a ghost town right now, right?
Sad.
But if we came together,
see Dante,
come on, bro.
Trigger words. Trigger words for me. I was gonna leave it alone. I said I wasn't gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna say nothing.
Say it. No, go ahead.
I give kudos and credit for the honor that was given for those who are on the wall, on the buildings and the paintings that we have. I love them. I'm not gonna dishonor them. But what you're not going to do is paint our city full of art on dilapidated buildings, and we not invest in them to turn Main Street around.
Right.
I don't want that to be a pacifier for us. Right. If we're going to honor them with murals and put this on buildings, let's invest in these buildings and wake them up to come alive and do whatever it takes. Now that's on the city responsibility, whatever, I don't know, contracts, whatever. But I wasn't gonna say nothing about it. It was about Tops. But I just said Main Street is a trigger word for me, because my thing is I don't want us to get in the habit of painting destruction. Right. And that was beautiful. We turned it around. No, keep the paintings, but bring this building alive.
I will say, here's what I'll say, because I did talk to the guy who was who had did those projects as far as the painting is concerned. Yes. And one thing I will say that he did say, he said, this for me, it's his, so that it's his gift. So I will, like you say, I honor that. His thing is these paintings for me, what makes me, what would make me happy is when these paintings are able to get washed off, because there's attention that is brought to this building. And so he was like, so the art is beautiful, absolutely, but this is not what makes me, this is not what, far as my goal is. Yeah. He said, this is not what makes me fulfilled.
Yes.
He said, fulfillment for me is when this art is able to be washed off, because this art was able to bring forth some attention to this building and show the value. And somebody said, you know what? The community care enough to at least try to do something.
Yeah. Let's
see what this building can do. Let's see what here's the only issue though. we're dealing with Blue Cardinal.
Yeah.
And one thing about it, the Bible says that my spirit shall not always strive with man.
Preach, my brother.
I want to make sure that I say that in the space. It was really clear. So if God himself, the almighty and omnipotent and, great one, the creator, will say that, let us know clearly that his spirit will not always strive with man. He has grace. However, at some point, you're going to have to do something. So, so this is, so here's where I am to Blue Cardinal, because I'm not into politics. I know you heard that with E. We talk about that all the time, right? I'm not into politics, and I gave the Blue Cardinal as a city official, an elected official, I gave them the same grace that I gave the mayor when there was a 20-month silence. And we gave them this grace by the name of COVID. We gave them that grace because we know there was a lot of, everybody was, locked down, you know what I mean, in quarantine. Understandable. I'm not in a headspace of being okay with people sitting on properties.
Sure.
We've been talking about that, and I don't want to veer too far off on it, but this is something that was worth being said in this time, because we're talking about the building up of the city. And I see Renee. Hey, Renee, how are you? And actually, kudos to her too, because she was here.
Yes, Red Door.
Yeah, Red
Door.
Door.
Yes.
Because that's another thing, even with home ownership and that as well. I'm big on that.
Yeah.
And so with these properties that we have here, there has to be more pressure applied to those who are sitting. And that's on every end.
Yeah.
That's on every end. I'll even say this, and I'm okay with the guy because there's no personal problem, but in that fire as well, there is gonna have to come a time where we're gonna have to see something. We're not gonna sit back and just allow our city to go into, because what happens is you drive so many people. How can local government go to sleep peacefully when we have less than half of the population that we once had in the city? We had over 115,000 people in the city of Niagara Falls. Wow. And we're straddling 46 to 47,000 right now. How can we go to sleep knowing that we have less than half of the population that we once had? And what happens is, and I'll show you what happens, and I see a lot of people that's behind the scenes and behind these closed doors, they don't want to hear this. What happens is, in these spaces, if they run as many people out, drive the property value down, and then bankrupt the city, then the billionaires come in and they scrape up the spoils. And then they turn the city into a place that is pretty much almost unlivable. Hold on just a second. Turn it into a space that's pretty much unaffordable to live in. Let me just put it that way. And then it becomes this retirement city, right? So I'm sitting like, I can't feel comfortable ever allowing that. So I'm saying all that to say, because it all ties back into Tops, is that there is another level of expectation
for sure
that we're going to have as a community for those people who own in our spaces. So Tops, you own that space. Now Do you want us to lobby for another grocery store to come through and give you competition?
Right.
Or do you want to be the staple of that space and give us some quality
Now,
that we deserve
Give us
as a
some quality.
community?
Don't get me started.
Come on now.
Because if you're not going to give us the quality that we deserve, there's some minds that we can come together and create our own.
Right.
You want somebody losing money now? No, we can have quality produce. We can build. We can establish. We can partnership. We can do a thing.
Right.
If you're not going to give this to us,
Right.
like we deserve it,
Right.
Because I refuse to be able to sit and to allow the community to continue to remain desolate.
Mm-hmm.
Once you put pressure on them, how y'all respond gonna make a difference.
Right.
How you move, and this is just me, and this is just who I am on the media side. And you said something about they want a bad press. If we're documenting that we're talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
we're talking about we're putting our conversations in, and you giving us either a yes or a no. It's time to make it known.
Right.
Hey, we had a conversation. They said no because if the inner city ain't going to support it, there's some people who want to see us succeed.
Right.
Who will support and get behind. No, let's make this happen. And if Tops won't, how can we?
Right.
Because if you don't want to build it, can we get 5 or 6 investors to take this over?
Right.
And get our own distribution contract going and bring the quality of this up?
Right.
Or can we go take the building that's on Highland across from Richardson's and make that a grocery store again?
Right.
Bring that back
right.
to what it used to be to provide our community the quality of what they need. Or can we go ahead and get some nonprofit organizations to go get some grant money
Right.
and let's go apply and let's do something big for
Right.
this? There's ways and there's methods. Is it work? Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're offering Tops. I feel like I'm in
Come on
the zone.
now.
We're offering Tops a chance
Right.
to correct what's been wrong for so long.
Right.
And for a long time. And if you come, and I plan to try to get to the meeting on the 7th, because if you think that we're going to take no as an option, you've sadly mistaken.
Right.
We've suffered long enough.
Right.
And this isn't the first conversation we had to you. I'm saying the second or the third.
Right.
But this is the conversation that we're going to put pressure behind.
Right.
And if you decline to advance the community with a quality Tops presentation, the world will know.
Right. And just be prepared for that.
And be prepared for that. And listen, y'all are lucky. I just changed I did a whole movie real situation, and it was called The Unfriendly Tops.
Wow.
Because you're not going to portray that you're in Niagara Falls in your documentation.
Right.
And you're not giving us the quality that we deserve.
Not working.
It's not working. Because I don't know, like I'm not in that business structure on the back end, but the name Niagara Falls by itself holds weight. The name Niagara holds a weight that gives people access to so much stuff. And I'm on this soapbox for a reason. But Niagara Falls is left out. Enough is enough.
That's it.
Enough is enough. So when you're talking to your distributors and you say, oh, yeah, I got the Niagara region,
Mm-hmm.
but the Niagara region is desolate and foul and not up to code because you didn't put your investment in, no, we're pulling you to the carpet for that.
Right.
I'm going to be gracious for December 7th.
Mm-hmm.
With your response to how you talk to us on that day will determine really how these series of things really work out for you. I'm not here to cause no chaos or contention, but I'm really here just to cause pressure.
Right.
Because even Jesus had to go to the temple and turn the table.
Right.
Because some things were just out of alignment for too long.
Right.
So yeah, that's just I'm off of my box. Donta.
Well, listen, I'm telling y'all something. Listen, today, I appreciate this conversation. I hope this is a conversation we can continue. And man, listen, this is another home for you, man. You can feel like anytime you want to come back, and if we want to do a follow up afterwards, you know what I'm saying, after the meeting, and however you want to do it, man, let's set that up, man, and come here at 5716. You're more than welcome all day, every day, twice on Sunday, good brother.
I appreciate it, Pastor Frank, Donta. I appreciate y'all having me on, give me the invitation, talking about this Tops thing. And I definitely grateful. It's like I said, repeating the meeting next Thursday, December 7th, 6 p.m. Word of Life Ministries. Please come out, be a part of that meeting. You don't want to miss it. Corporate people will be there. Come out, please. It's all about us and what we want. And we want to show them that the community, we're together. Yeah. We feel the same and we want a change. That's I told the vice president when we had the meeting, I'm sitting across from him, and what do we want? A store renovation. You know what I mean? In that community meeting we had. When do we want it? We want it now.
We want it now.
You know,
we want it now. We
now.
want renovation and we want it now. You feel that comfortable. When you feel that comfortable doing a whole complete renovation for one of your sister stores, and you purposely leave the hurting store out, then okay, now we're gonna have to give you that work. So listen, that's pretty much. I know we over a couple of minutes, and I'll tell you what. I thank you guys for coming in, and everybody that was that logged in and that was chiming in. I'll definitely respond to your any type of and feel free to leave any comments, any suggestions, but don't just leave comments and suggestions. Come next Thursday on the 7th at 6:00 at 1941 Hyde Park Boulevard on Hyde Park and Porter, which is the Word of Life Ministries, where the Bishop Jesse J. Scott Sr. is the pastor. Come through there, and again, like Ezra had made mention, the executives, they're going to be there, and this is the time for your voice to be heard. The squeaky wheel don't always get the oil unless you're squeaking where oil is available. 7 on the 7th is in regards to tops. Oil is going to be available at that time. As far as like your voice, you know what I mean, being heard. That's where don't come on Facebook talking about it. Let's come where the people are, where the people who actually can make the change take place. So once again, I appreciate everybody for coming through. This is Donta Myles. I'm AKA D Belly, AKA Tank, AKA Kunkel. That's my niece and nephew. They call Kunkel. AKA your favorite city councilman. All of that good stuff, man. I'm here for it. We'll see you again next week, next Friday at the same time, 5:00 p.m. And you guys enjoy your evening. Show love to one another, and I'll see you guys there. See how look at this technology, how you're able to come back on and I would like to thank Mr. Ezra Scott Sr. for coming through. Man, for your time. I thank you for stepping up. I thank you for being a community member that is willing to put yourself out there and in the community. You know what I mean? And say, hey, this is something that I'm passionate about, and I'm willing to go to whatever lengths that we need to do to see change happen. Man. So I appreciate you.
I will say lastly that, what's going on right now with the community meetings, corporate coming out, there is a strategy, you know what I mean, as far as different levels of this strategy, to try to get what we want.
Right.
Okay.
So we in the beginning. Now we being nice. we being nice. Right? We being nice. We're being very diplomatic in this space. Might want to just really pay attention to our diplomacy, because there are other levels, and we ain't going into what those levels are. What we saying, we at the ground level. If we can get it done.
Take this chihuahua while we working with it. Okay. Take a nice roll.
That's right. All right, again. I appreciate y'all for coming.